What's up, y'all? Back with a new video. Today we're going to juice with about 5 simple ingredients. This juicer is the Kuvings 830, and what we're going to do is juice some green apples, red pears, some celery, and a cucumber. Alright, first thing we want to do is get our fruits together to get washed and under the sink and get all of the dirt, grime, or whatever chose or found its way to stick to the skin. We want to get the water on it pretty well, nice warm water. Some people like to add baking soda. Some people like to add vinegar. It's up to you. For this video, I'm just using straight water. So what I do is I give them a nice little rinse, like multiple times, and then finally, the final rinse will be I will use, as you can see in the video, I have a spray bottle. Inside of that bottle, I'm using distilled water. So the municipal water has different types of cleaners, to say the least, to be nice. It has different types of inorganic materials in there. So I like to give a final rinse with my own distilled water since it's just H2O. So here, especially with the celery, you want to make sure that's super clean because the celery gets really dirty. And so that's that. Next, I like to slice the apples down the middle. I like to remove the core, get all of the seeds out. I don't really like the seeds in my in my juice. When they get crushed up, they do release like protective compounds that are built inside them. So the compounds can sometimes irritate the gut. I just don't like them. And well, as you can see, I'm using a knife. But when this video was made, I didn't have what I have now, which is this little device. It's a core remover. So I'm going to make a video talking about that later on sometime in the very near future. And it just makes the process super fast. You don't have to go through this lengthy process here of removing the cores and removing the seeds. You just pretty much put the thing in there and it does it all in one step, and it's really convenient. But yeah, moving forward here, I'm just, as you can see, I'm just removing the seeds and the cores and everything out of the center of the apple, getting them prepared and ready to put into the juicer. Here I'm using that same distilled water, and I'm pretty much just spraying out the machine primarily to remove any dust from it just sitting from the previous juice. I'm very strict on that. I like to always do a pre-spray of all the parts, all of the components to the juicer, and that way I know that none of that junk or whatever dust or what have you gets into my juice. So I just always do a pre-spray on all the components. This is the auger. I give a nice little spray on that as well. Then this is the cover. I'll do the same thing with that as well. As you can see, I do a thorough, I'm very strict on that. I do a thorough spray down. As you can see, the machine is completely saturated on the inside. Then I cut the cucumber in threes because unfortunately it does not fit in the machine, so you have to cut it in multiple pieces, and then you know it's ready to go in now. And then if you can see this, now a lot of people, I mentioned this in one of my previous videos, I like to pour distilled water in the machine so they can give another final rinse for any dust or any particles that was already sitting in the machine that I could not physically see. So I'll cut the machine on and then I'll just run it, and as you can see, it you know, it gives off whatever, it'll collect whatever that particles that's in it, and you know, I'll get them in the juice catcher cups and pour it off into the sink. Alright, next we're going to start off with the celery. We're going to drop that in head first so that the actual leaf goes in first. You just drop that straight in the feed chute. If you have the 830 version, you'll have that feed chute. If you have the 820 version, you will not. Either way it goes, it's no issue. It will still work out just as well. Now we're going with the apples, the red apples. Drop them in. You really don't have to, if you're not bothered by the seeds or the core, actually you should remove the core at least. You can just drop the apple in whole. Then we're gonna go with the cucumber sliced. I sliced that in like 3 different parts, whatever it takes to get it to go in without obstruction. If you're wondering why my mason jar looks like that, that's from my previous juice, because normally what I do is, I juice so often, when I'm done with it, I just throw it in the freezer. I do not clean it immediately. I'll use it at least 2 times before I clean it, and putting it in the freezer when you're done helps with not having to clean it every time you use it, because actually it goes in and it's no issue. It doesn't cause any issue because it's going right in there and it's going to freeze. So it's just like pretty much freezing the fruit. Again, I do not clean the mason jars after each use when I juice. I simply just stick it in the freezer, and that primarily applies if I'm using the same ingredients. If I'm not using the same ingredients, I'll either clean it or actually just use a different jar. And if I plan to use the same ingredients another day during the week, and I haven't used it 2 times, 3 times already, I'll just pull it right out and use it straight out of the freezer. And as you can see, look at what we have here. We have a nice green quality nutrient dense juice here, ready for the taking. This thing is packed with plenty of vitamins and minerals. I like to get the top on there immediately so we don't deal with the oxidation. This is organic fruits. It will start oxidizing immediately. It's usually good for 24 to 48 hours. After that, the minerals and the vitamins start to disappear. They start to vanish. So you want to get that. It's best if you drink it immediately, because that way you know you're going to get the majority of the nutrients. And that's the entire point of juicing. So we get a separate jar, get this thing covered back up, and let's give her a taste. Boy, I tell you, nothing is better than this. just come all the way alive. Everything on your insides just wake up. Taste buds just wake up. Just feeling amazing. You know what time it is when you get that, you start getting that invigoration immediately. You know, this that real deal juice right here when you gotta close your eyes. It feels so good internally. You know it's hitting when you start dancing. That's just what it do to you. This ain't that store-bought juice that's preserved and burnt up and all the minerals gone. This juice make you dance right here. This like putting a battery in your back. Oh yeah. Yes, sir. Good to the last drop. Okay, and here's the pulp left over. You can put it in the oven and bake it. Taste it, see if you like it. If not, just throw it away. Well, this is the end of the video. I appreciate you for watching. Comment, like, share, and subscribe. Until then, peace and love.